Institutional DeFi on Hedera is happening. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And also, if you guys are not in the free Discord at this point, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. There is a ton of free information in that Discord. It is the #1 Discord around crypto right now, and I put everything on that. If you guys do want to join that, there's a link down in the description below. You're missing out on a ton of free information if you're not in there already. So like I said, definitely join it. Now, with that in mind, let's talk about Hbar. So I think at this point, I feel as though everyone's in the same spot, right? We're looking at the 1-year chart. We're looking at the all-time chart. And it's like, all right, are these altcoins, is this space going to do anything? Just for reference, I took a trip for about roughly 2 weeks, came back, and it was like I never even left. Charts look the same. Everything looked the same. There's some great announcements happening. There's some great moves being made around fundamentals and things like that. But for the most part, guys, not much has changed. This is the overall Hbar USD chart. 7.5 cents almost is the area at which we need to really kind of flip when it comes to Hbar. We need to have a big move above that. And then even then, we are met with an area of major resistance that we need to push above, which is around 9 to 10 cents. So this is the initial liquidity high that we need to take out, around 7.5 cents. And then from there, we have a lot more work to do. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take some time, but we are definitely watching this closely. Hbar off of the lows, though, on the 3-day, having a nice impulsive move. Again, taking out the low liquidity on this wick here from August 4th. And then from there, really kind of just having a little bit of a nice impulse move back above significant lows, gaining some momentum, having some 3-day candle closes around roughly 5 cents, maintaining that as support. Love to see that. And then now we are having a strong impulse. We have a lot of work to do, but for the most part, doesn't look too bad. We just need to have some price action here, because for the longest time, we've just been in a downtrend since that high back in April, and there hasn't been any signs of life on a lot of altcoin charts, and this is because of dominance when it comes to Bitcoin. And talking about Bitcoin, let's address the Hbar Bitcoin chart. All-time lows on this chart, absolutely killing sentiment. A lot of people saying like, that's it, Hbar is dead, but it's like, what altcoin isn't dead against Bitcoin right now? Go look at any altcoin's Bitcoin chart, and I'm telling you guys right now, you're going to see very, very similar price action. Massive downtrends, chart looks dead, pretty much no signs of life. But if we take a look at the MACD and we take a look at the stock RSI, same levels at which we see major impulsive moves on this chart every single time. And just for reference, here you guys have back in April, before that nice high around 20 cents happened, stock RSI, same situation. Also MACD, slowing down in terms of bearish momentum, starting to potentially flip into bullish momentum. Same exact thing that happened back in April, same exact thing that happened back in June of 2023 before that nice impulsive move back in July. This is what we want to see. So there is signs that we could potentially be starting to have a nice move brewing on Hbar, but we need to really start to see that happen on the USD chart, and we need a lot more strength against Bitcoin to actually form. But with that in mind, let's talk about institutional DeFi on Hedera. It all started with a few announcements around Aberdeen, Archix, and a few others, which we've talked about in the past, and I will, of course, bring them back up in this video as well. More recently, on the 22nd, so yes, roughly 2 days ago now, we saw an event get posted by Hadera, which is the new era, the tokenization of real-world assets. And we could see a few big names here. Aberdeen is one of them, of course, and of course Hadera is as well. As we really look at what's going on, tokenization is heating up around the world. Major institutions are pushing forward when it comes to tokenization. In a more recent update, we have tokenized RWA market hits $10 billion, draws major institutions. And yes, listen, TVL around tokenization continues to heat up. It continues to be a focus of mine as well, because as we start to get into the tens of billions of dollars and potentially even $100 billion plus level very soon, that's when everything's going to start to look a little bit different. I told you guys, 1 trillion. All it takes is 1 trillion to be on chain, and the legitimization of tokenization in the space, is sealed forever. That is where history becomes reality. That is where history starts to unfold in real time. And that's where the technological advancements of DLT and blockchain in the real world really just starts to scale at massive rates. I'm telling you guys that now because all it takes is 1 trillion. That T word is the secret to anything. When it comes to technology, 1 trillion is not taken lightly. So as we really look at what's going on, yes, I am focused on TVL. Right now, we're starting to see drops of water in the bucket. Even 100 billion will be a drop of water in the bucket. Even 1 trillion will be a drop of water in a bucket. But that 1 trillion, that T word, adds the legitimacy to the technology. And that's where all institutions are starting to come out of the woodwork saying like, all right, that's it. We need to look at this thing. We need to start taking this thing seriously. And a lot of them are starting to do so. State Street is a more recent one. On August 20th, actually, they announced that they're launching a tokenization platform for institutional investors. Now, guys, State Street is no joke. Talked about them on multiple occasions. $4.128 trillion in assets under management. And this was back in 2023. They are one of the largest companies out there next to Vanguard, BlackRock, you name it. They are a giant. And we're now starting to see a lot of these big players moving into tokenization. And by the way, if you thought that $4 trillion was a lot in terms of assets under management, check out their assets under administration and custody. $40 trillion under custody and administration in 2023. Like I said, they are one of the big three with BlackRock and Vanguard. And these big players are now looking at this space and they are taking it seriously and they are going all in. BlackRock was one of the first. Vanguard is still kind of on the sidelines, but State Street, they've been in this space for a little bit of time. I've been putting a spotlight on them. But as we think about this, right, as we look at tokenization, why does Hedera have to be brought up in question? Well, it's because Hadera is a pioneer when it comes to RWA. They were one of the first ones in the RWA space. They were one of the first ones working with some of the big players around tokenization, and they continue to be one. If we actually go over to RWA on Hedera, we could see 8 billion plus in terms of ecosystem market cap on Hedera. A lot of these stats have not changed. And in fact, I actually don't think that these are up to date either. But for the longest time, it's been 50 million in terms of tokenized assets on Hedera. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a little bit more at this point. But a lot of these great projects that are building out on Hedera, more notably, we go all the way over here to the end, Red Swan, they continue to get licenses, they continue to expand and continue to partner. They are a commercial real estate company catering to the tokenization of real estate. A $300+ trillion asset class in itself. This is why I focus on just small sections, right? When we really kind of look at some of these industries and these asset classes, just one of them being tokenized on chain would change the entire landscape forever. That's why I say 1 trillion, that's all it takes. After that, the fire will spread so quick and you'll start to see trillions coming on chain in such a fast, rapid pace that it will completely shock you. And no, that's not me being, a used car salesman. I'm just being 100% real with you guys. All it takes is 1 trillion. And Hadera already kind of has the partnership set in stone. Number one is Archix. Archix is a big deal. Back in December of 2023, they announced their partnership. They actually announced that they were going to improve their partnership already with Archix. Outside of this, Fresh Supply Co. They integrated Hedera's token service into Continuity API, boosting lending confidence through verifiable payments. And this is also focused on institutions. They can leverage Hedera's tokenization capabilities for a host of conditional payment applications, bringing real-world asset tokenization and supply chain financing. And guess what? When we look at this, this is with Fresh Supply Co. More recently, they just announced a partnership with Seralto and MasterCard. And this is to boost cash flow for Australian farmers. You might be looking at this and saying like, all right, this doesn't matter. It's not a big deal because Hedera is not tied to this. Hedera is tied to this through Fresh Supply Co. When we're looking at the way things are changing around the world, finance, supply chain finance, all of it is changing through tokenization and on-chain finance. On-chain is the key around all of this. And if we actually look at this, let me zoom in, we can see that they are going to be leveraging secure technologies such as blockchain. Blockchain is the key around all of these major innovations. And where do all of these steps lead back to when we're looking at fresh supply co? Hadera. Hadera is the key when it comes to this. Now also, BitGo. They joined the Hedera Council to further the success of the Hedera network and support innovation. And this was focused on real-world tokenization, settlement, and payment verticals. And BitGo is a major institutional player. They are focused on institutions, enterprises, and again, 1,500 institutional clients in 50 countries. BitGo is no joke. No joke. Also, Hedera and TRM Labs, new integration provides industry-leading security and compliance. Again, building on the fact that they need to be trustworthy, they need to have that security. And TRM, even today with Hedera, is focused on institutions, enterprises. This has always been the key. This has always been the focus. Outside of this, Hedera joins the International Institute of Finance. I recently reported on this back in the beginning of August, but this is still focused on institutions. Big players are tied to the IIF, Circle, Coinbase, BlackRock, so many other big players as well. It's just all these inked connections. And more recently, Copper. Copper has always been around the space. They've been a name that, if you've been around crypto for a while, you know of. We're excited to announce our partnership with the Hbar Foundation. Copper has integrated with the Hedera network to enable institutional access to DeFi and custody of Hbar and Hedera token service tokens. As part of the integration, clients will be able to stake their Hbar to validators of their choosing and perform DeFi transactions from Copper's MPC wallet infrastructure via API and Copper's DeFi platform, Copper Connect. Hbar will also be available for trading via Clearloop. This partnership is big. Copper is a massive institutional player. We even have over here building an institutional standard for digital assets, institutional custody, prime services, and collateral management. This is a giant when it comes to institutional DeFi initiatives, DeFi in general. They have 1,000 plus organizations tied to them in partnership with pioneering institutions. You can see some of the names here. You can see some of the names tied to Copper as well from the space, like Algorand, Stellar, for an example. This is also another big project another big company that everyone needs to focus on, and the projects tied to it, like Stellar and Algorand as well, because they are some great projects. But guys, Copper is a big player. Digital asset infrastructure developed in partnership with pioneering institutions. We could see some of the names tied to this. If you guys go and check out their resumes, nothing short of incredible. But here we have the full breakdown of the lifespan. We continue to innovate because that's who we are, and we can see some of the numbers behind them. 50 plus chains for custody, 40 plus connected exchanges, 20 plus chains for staking, 10 plus chains to interact with DeFi, 1,000 plus active counterparties, and 50 billion plus monthly notional trading volume. Like I said, Copper has become a big player in this space. A lot of people don't actually focus on Copper, but you need to focus on these names. And over here, we have a full breakdown from Hadera as well. They give us the announcement, and then we have institutional investors now have a streamlined and secure path into the Hedera ecosystem thanks to Copper's integration. And yes, institutional players, institutional investors, all of them are now starting to take this space seriously. A lot of these integrations actually help pave the way to them getting access and exposure to Hedera and the entire ecosystem around Hedera. And with everything that we know around tokenization and everything that we know about all of these institutions, they're lining up, they're trialing things. They want to go all in, but they can't yet. There's still a few obstacles. There's still a few things that need to be, shined a little bit around the space. But when everything's ready, the big winners, and I do apologize, I just hit my mic, but the big winners will be shown to you all through not only the volume, the value, the amount of users, but also how much adoption was taking place before everything is greenlit. And what do I mean by that? Well, all of these big announcements that everyone is just overlooking because, oh, it's not leading to price action. The price action still sucks. Hbar is not doing much. All of these announcements, look at these announcements as pressure building and building and building. Right now, nobody cares about half of the things that we talk about on this channel. Utility, a lot of people look at utility and they laugh at it. But the thing that you need to realize is when you look at these institutions and these big companies that are taking this space seriously now, while every retail investor thinks it's a joke and they're jumping into meme coins, the institutions are taking this space seriously and they're handpicking the winners. The winners are clear. All you have to do is do a little bit of research, read into things, connect the dots. Hadera is one of them. This is why I say when everything is shined up, when we have clarity for this space, when regulations are in place as well, where the guardrails are already there, that's where we start to see these projects like Hadera become absolute blue chip giants in the real world. That's why I'm so excited. That's why I'm so excited for, regulations and utility to finally take over, because Hadera will be one of those big players. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.